Welcome back to Unapologetic Exotical content, where lace gets peeled, delusion gets exposed, and the truth shows up with a folding chair, a drink in hand, and zero chill. This is where fantasies get evicted, wigs get lifted like TSA luggage, and insecure aunties start filing noise complaints because the glow is just too loud. And yes, this video was requested by her, that supporter, yes, that one, who presses lace into glue like it's a coping mechanism and treats crunchy hairlines like ASMR, with a side of emotional support edge control. The kind of woman who watches a synthetic wig lift and hears the soothing sound of justice. She asked, "How do I cope with the bitter brigade's projections, the ones built like resentment and dressed in clearance section confidence? You know, the crew that treats your existence like a personal attack and your glow like it owes them reparations?" Well, baby, let's unpack the lace and the psychology. First off, let's identify their greatest hits. Attacking the messenger, not the message. Gaslighting, projection, playing victim, ignoring you when they can't compete, nitpicking like unpaid quality control agents, deflecting with, "but white women," anytime they feel exposed, threatening violence, calling you crazy, especially if you're fine, saying you'll lose your looks when they never had any to begin with, sabotage, lies, smear campaigns, and my personal favorite, comparing you to manly women who just so happen to look exactly like them. Meanwhile, you look more feminine in a bonnet, crusty eye, and chapstick than they do in a full beat, body shaper, push-up bra, and ring light set to deception. They have PhDs in manipulation, but not a single clue how to heal. Let's be real, their entire goal is to erase you. If they can't be you, they want to silence you. It's psychological warfare, honey, and you're the nuclear code. So how do I deal? Sometimes I just raise an eyebrow to their hairline and let the delusion do its thing. But when that ain't enough, I go full psychologist. Understand the root cause. They need you to be insecure so they can feel safe. Evolutionary biology tells us that women have always competed for resources, looks, status, protection. But when you're the upgraded iOS walking through the room with symmetry, shine, and no visible glue residue, you become the threat their DNA was never prepared for. This isn't just social, it's survival panic. Their entire self-worth is built on being seen as the standard. So when you walk in looking like everything they thought they were, that facade cracks, and they retaliate. We live in a system where certain women were told they were the default prize. So when someone else walks in and naturally commands attention, no BBL, no 3-hour routine, just glow, bone structure, and real beautiful, long hair, they glitch. They can't comprehend how you exist without their struggle aesthetic. So they attack. They'll say, "Show yourself," when in reality, it's average women who are plastered all over the internet. The Lace Front Committee loves visibility. What they don't love? Comparison. And I'm not talking about them comparing you to other women you already dust with zero effort. I mean them versus you. A direct side-by-side, no filter, no angles, daylight exposure type of comparison. That's when the foundation cracks, literally and emotionally. Because once people start seeing the difference between your natural glow and their Build-A-Face starter kit, it's game over. That's why the most stunning women, the real triple threats, often go ghost online or use burners. Even Beyoncé is probably lurking on a burner account, quietly dropping skull emojis under reels like, "But you not cute though," and logging off like a ghost in designer shades. Because when you're really that girl, you don't need to show yourself. You just sprinkle petty from the shadows like glitter. When you're truly her, you protect her. You can't even say what you really feel because your face alone already started the argument. They'll say, "You're arrogant," but let's talk facts. Halle Berry? Crazy. Stacy Dash? Crazy. Now, yes, she's publicly battled a drug addiction, so her story comes with layers and pain, not just sound bites. But the pattern stays the same. Label the beautiful women unstable, so folks can sleep better at night. I've literally heard black men online say, Y'all know fine women are crazy? But let's unpack that. Why is it always the head-to-toe triple threat stunners getting hit with the crazy label? Because we're not just beautiful, we're targeted. We walk through life dodging insecurity, like it's dodgeball, getting side-eyed by bitter women and dissected by dusty men with Wi-Fi. That constant energy drain can mess with your head. I'll be real, there was a time I felt sad, wondering why women disliked me before I even opened my mouth. I started thinking maybe it was me, maybe knowing I'm better makes me stuck up, maybe I should shrink to make others comfortable. But then I realized, nah, the problem wasn't my confidence, it was their discomfort with it. Once you truly accept that you're her, and that the side eyes, shade, and awkward silences aren't paranoia but patterns, you stop crying and start cackling, especially when you look at them now. Because back in the day, they gave plain, but now, baby, they give Ringling Brothers. They give Inspector Gadget on a payment plan. They give department store mannequin after a thunderstorm. And honestly, I believe it's because their collective mental state has declined. You can see it in the lashes, the chaos, the contour that's doing geometry instead of symmetry. They're not just mad, they're malfunctioning. But guess what? None of their tactics erase the truth. Truth doesn't need a glam team. It doesn't age. It doesn't deflect. The truth just is. And the truth is, you're better. That's not ego. That's observation and facts. You get complimented by the owner of the place and the married security guard. Meanwhile, the women in the room are standing there giving you silent hater from the shadows, energy, like Christmas ghosts, but with bad wigs and worse attitudes. They complimented your mother and not you. Sis, that's not etiquette, that's strategic silence. They knew you were a threat and hoped ignoring you would shrink your light. Plot twist, it didn't. Story time. I literally was at an establishment, and this unambiguous woman had on a wig with bangs so stiff she looked like she was in witness protection. My mother looked at me and said, "You know these women are off the chain. I saw one on the news for stealing a wig off a deceased woman at a funeral." And honestly, I wasn't even shocked. These are the same women who steal their brothers' stretched out t-shirts, slap them on their heads, twist the sleeves like a tourniquet, and call it a protective style. Ma'am, that's not protective. That's a cry for help wrapped in cotton. Now let's talk coping mechanisms, battle-tested and lace-proof. 1. Use humor. When they come for you, just imagine them blow-drying their lace down while Googling how to slay jealousy. 2. Understand narcissism. Many of them show textbook symptoms, no empathy, always comparing themselves, and full-blown rage the moment the truth taps them on the forehead like, "Hey boo." Recognize it, don't internalize it. It's them, not you, always has been. You're just the mirror showing them what they'll never be. And baby, they mad at the reflection. 3. Mirror validation. Their worth comes from social approval. Yours? From that face in the mirror. Remember, they avoid mirrors. You are one. 4. Intellectual superiority. Learn how to shut them down with psychology and receipts. Study their patterns, clock the manipulation, and stay 5 steps ahead like it's choreography. There's nothing more satisfying than hitting them with the truth and watching them spiral like a lace front in a wind tunnel. 5. Play the long game. Let the truth marinate and do what it does best. Age like receipts. One day they'll be watching the news or scrolling through an article and boom, statistics will pop up proving everything we've been saying. That's why you study data, buy psychology books about envy and projection, and keep watching channels like this one. That's why it's important to study data, grab psychology books on envy and projection like their survival guides, and keep watching channels like this one, the ones that actually get it, not the ones blending delusion like it's foundation and hoping nobody zooms in. You don't fight delusion with emotions, you fight it with facts, patterns, and precision. While they lie and downplay you, go home. Do a 2-second search on who's statistically the most desired, and then laugh. Laugh while you peel their lace from the bottom of your shoe, because it fell off when they were busy powdering their creases and pretending not to see you. 6. Track the male gaze. If you weren't that girl, why do high-value men stop mid-sentence to compliment you, but look through them like smudged glass? Men who see them every day still find a way to pull you aside and whisper, "Ma'am, just wow." That's not game, that's shock. Don't let them rewrite reality. They will gaslight you, stalk your comment section, accuse you of being obsessed, and beg for silence, because your presence is louder than their lies. Keep shining. Keep documenting the foolishness. Keep reading their dusty wigs like audiobooks, chapter by chapter. No skips, no mercy. They can't handle that their era never actually began. It wasn't cut short, sis. It was never released. They are the saltines to your 7-course meal. And like Eddie Murphy said, once people taste flavor, they never go back to plain crackers. Remember, your validation is both internal and external, rooted in self-awareness, backed by hard data, and confirmed every time you catch your reflection and go, "Yep, still her." Theirs is performative. You're living rent-free in their heads while they're out here maxing out emotional credit cards just to lease some fake beauty. They're still making monthly payments on an identity that doesn't even come with edges, a return policy, or a functioning frontal. So when the attacks come, laugh. When the silence hits, thrive louder. When they deflect, drag the projection out like a lace lift at high noon. Nothing they say changes the truth. You are it. You always were. You always will be. And no glue, no wig, no whisper campaign can change that. Shout out to her, that supporter. Stay glowing, stay knowing, stay unbothered, and stay ready, because this lace snatching season never ends.